I believe had 5 million views by the time that it was removed. It features a number of girls, including, this is not her real name, but Insider called her Hannah, who was 20 years old at the time. And in it, you have Dirty Dom, who says, I invited these girls over to have a fivesome, so hopefully I'll have a fivesome tonight. As Insider explains, the next shot is of Hannah and her friends walking into the apartment, with Hannah saying to Insider as soon as she walked into the door, someone shoved a camera in her face, with Insider noting she has one line of dialogue in the video saying that she doesn't know who anyone in the vlog squad is. Also, as far as them coming over for group sex, Insider wrote Hannah and her friend Sarah, who drove everyone to the apartment, told Insider that they never intended to have group sex with Dom Zaglitis, a hesitance that was reflected in the vlog, with Dobrik saying in the video over voiceover, after a couple minutes of talking, it was clear there was no fivesome happening tonight, but then claiming, but by some stroke of luck and master negotiating, Dom made progress. Right, so that's how you had Dobrik framing it, but then as far as Hannah's side of things, Hannah told Insider that she felt pressured by Zaglitis and the other vlog squad members into helping them create content that objectified her, saying Zaglitis took turns interacting with Hannah and her friends and that he pulled her onto his lap at one point without asking permission. Hannah saying it was very much an environment where it felt like saying no was not okay, saying it felt like from the moment we came, there was an expectation that they were doing us a favor and we had to give them content. They were verbally like, why aren't you guys being fun? Do something sort of sexy. Also claiming that Dom asked if she wanted to be his Instagram girlfriend, saying she could make $10,000 a week. She then describes a situation where Dom asks if he could talk to her. She agrees. He leads her out of a room where her friends were in, down a hallway and into a pitch black bedroom. Also saying that after he guided her through the door, she quickly turned around and told him she wanted to go back to where her friends were, but he blocked the exit with his body. He started asking her why she didn't like him and wouldn't date him. He asks if they could hook up. She says no. Dom allegedly tells her, you at least have to give me a kiss, and adding, I was getting really scared because he wasn't letting me leave. My friends were in a totally different part of the house. I was like, what happens if I keep saying no? So I just gave him a kiss. After this, she says she gets back to her friends, which also happens to be at the same time a couple members of the vlog squad return with a bottle of dark colored liquor. Now here, I'll say regarding who got the liquor, there are multiple claims. You had Insider reporting that Trisha Paytas, who was there with her then boyfriend Jason Nash, claiming that Jeff Wittick went and got the liquor. This after saying that she told Nash not to get the liquor, also saying that they left before Wittick got back. This is also something Jeff Wittick has denied both in the article while speaking to the journalist as well as on social media. But in the article, we also have Sarah, one of the other girls, saying she remembers Todd Smith and Wittick coming back to the apartment with Smith holding a bottle of Jack Daniels whiskey. With Hannah saying, at this point, I can't really remember much. I just remember being really uncomfortable and being honestly really upset and angry that my friends thought these guys were really cool and they're really just objectifying and gross. With Insider reporting, Hannah said she drank so much alcohol the night she filmed with the vlog squad that she blacked out. And going on to report, Sarah told Insider that Hannah wanted to go to Zaglitis' room with Zaglitis and their friend Audrey. Though Sarah said she could tell that Hannah was drunk, she was comfortable with letting her go into the room because Hannah wouldn't be alone. But with her also going on to say there was definitely a lot of alcohol being exchanged and kind of like nudged toward her. There were definitely times she was drinking it of her own volition, but there were also times where he was clearly trying to get her to drink more. Going on to say Hannah was able to walk into the room, but also adding she was not fully coherent and articulate. Right, so you have the situation where Dom, Hannah, and this other girl, Audrey, are in this room together. And at this point in the video, you have a bunch of the guys from the vlog squad outside the door trying to listen in. Also, they, without any consent, start opening the door and looking in. And after all this happens, you have Sarah saying that Dom and Audrey came out of the room first, with Sarah saying she went in after him to find Hannah lying limp on the bed. With Hannah saying she does not remember having sex with Zaglitis and that Audrey told her that Zaglitis performed sexual acts on her that were penetrative. With Insider noting specifically, Hannah said Audrey told her that Zaglitis was having sex with Hannah and didn't stop as Hannah showed signs of losing consciousness, so Audrey, quote, took over to get Zaglitis to stop. And while Insider noted that Audrey declined to comment, it appears that in a text that she sent to Hannah this month about their night with Zaglitis, she wrote, I remember you were starting to close your eyes and just were obviously drunk, so I finished him off just to get him away from you. With Hannah noting that after this, she was too drunk to dress herself, saying what I do remember is lying on the bed in that room alone and my roommate at the time coming in and being super worried and putting my underwear on me because I couldn't do that by myself. Sarah noting Hannah couldn't stand up or sit up on the toilet by herself, saying that at one point she passed out on the floor briefly. They also forced her to throw up and they actually had to physically support her body as they exited the apartment. And as far as what we see from the vlog after what apparently transpired, we see the guys joking about smell my finger, with Dobrik offering $25 to do so. And then several of the guys, along with David, joking in the car that they're now going to go to jail.
I just had a threesome, and I think we're all
going to jail. Oh man.
I think we're all going to jail.
And a thing that I'll say with this story, I highly recommend you actually read through the entire article. I'm not touching every single thing. I'm kind of just trying to get to the keynotes before I kind of expand my thoughts on this, but before we do that, David Dobrik also officially released a statement, kind of, last night, releasing a video on his least followed YouTube account titled Let's Talk, even though likes and dislikes as well as comments were disabled. In this video, which I'll link down below, he apologizes to Seth, and then maybe kind of sort of loosely references the rape allegation. Right, he notes that consent can change. He says, you know, I miss the mark, saying I've cut guys like Dirty Dom out of my life, but in no way did it address that he created this situation, monetized and profited and benefited from the situation where there is an actual victim. All right, so buckle up. We're hitting the turn. This is opinion territory. David Dobrik, how the fuck is that your official statement? This is an, at the time, 20-year-old young woman, girl, whatever you want to call her. As a 35-year-old man, a 20-year-old is like a fucking baby. You have this 20-year-old woman who wasn't even legally allowed to drink at the time saying, I was raped. And not only that, but unlike so many other women that are assaulted and don't report things, she had millions of people going, oh my God, that's so cool that you're in David Dobrik's vlog, right? I imagine one of the most traumatic experiences in her life. This is a thing that's going to affect her for the rest of her life. And how many times and how many interactions did she have where she had to relive her trauma because millions of people saw this video and had a completely different understanding of what transpired? Your response is to use this vague legalese, my friends have disappointed me language, and I almost get it to a certain degree, right? This was probably crafted by some lawyer or approved by some lawyer that was like, okay, gotta protect ourselves legally, but what the fuck? I can't imagine how alone she's felt with this, because while the start of this story is a story that many women are familiar with, the way that it is so uniquely horrible, it just stands out. Yeah, that is where I'm gonna leave it. Now, I do wanna close again, because I know some people say like, oh, you're talking about YouTube drama. This is not YouTube drama. This is a criminal accusation with a victim. I have reached out to David Dobrik, Jason Nash, Dirty Dom for any response, extra comment, and they have had the time, knowing that this insider article was coming out, to be able to get ahead of it, to do anything that would remotely be the right thing. And the most we've seen is whatever the hell that Let's Talk video was. As well as David's lawyer, Brian Friedman, telling Insider, anyone who knows him knows he does not condone misconduct in any form. Blog participants provide consent before anything is posted. Whenever consent is retracted, posts are removed. Any insinuation of wrongdoing is inaccurate and defamatory. Then show us. But yeah, that's the story, my opinion. Now, of course, I pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? But from that, let's take a quick breather before the next heavy story, and I want to thank today's sponsor, Noom, which I also just want to say, without all our fantastic sponsors, including Noom today, we wouldn't be able to cover half the things that we cover on this show without just losing money every day. Yeah, for those unfamiliar, Noom is a new and different way to lose weight, get healthy, and achieve your goals using proven cognitive behavioral therapy tools and practices. I've been personally using Noom because I've been trying to develop healthier habits. I already wasn't doing great health-wise, but then the pandemic just But Noom has definitely been a game changer for me as I try to just get a hold on my life. And Noom is different because it works by leveraging psychology and science to help people live healthy, more fulfilling lives. Noom also combining the power of artificial intelligence, mobile tech, and the empathy of live personal coaches that focus on changing your long-term habits, unlike other competitive methods that often result in you yo-yoing over time. I've personally found Noom's journaling super helpful. Also, their easy, understandable articles and daily lessons help me with my daily accountability. Right? And basically, it feels like having the ultimate accountability partner in your corner cheering you on, which is key because whether you're at the very beginning or somewhere in the middle of your journey, it's not easy to do it alone. And honestly, there's no reason to do it alone. This struggle is one of the most universal struggles. Yeah, if you've been looking for a sign, this is it. And think about, what are my health goals? And then head over to trynoom.com/Phil and take Noom's 30-second quiz for free to create a truly custom program for you. And then finally, today we need to talk about the 8 people who were shot and killed in 3 different spas in the Atlanta area last night. Reportedly, 6 of the victims were Asian women, raising concerns the attacks could be the latest in a surge of hate crimes against Asian Americans. Last night, there was a brief manhunt with police saying they arrested a 21-year-old white man from Woodstock, Georgia, about 150 miles south of Atlanta. Also, just a note when we cover stories like this, because we never know if the perpetrator wants to be infamous, we don't show names or faces. But that said, as far as what we know, the positioning right now of law enforcement, during a press conference this morning, law enforcement officials said that the suspect did admit to the crime and saying that he told them that he had a sex addiction and that he was traveling to Florida when they arrested him. But the officers saying they believe that he may have frequented the parlors in the past and that he may have been aiming to commit similar violence at a business connected to the porn industry in Florida. But very notably here, police have also not yet offered an official motive for the attack. And actually this morning, they said that they're not able to determine if it can be considered a hate crime because it's still too early in the investigation. But regarding this, we did see Cherokee County Sheriff's Captain Jay Baker saying the suspect told the officers that his actions were not racially motivated.
He
claims that these, and as the chief said, this is still early, but he does claim that it was not racially motivated. He apparently has an issue, what he considers a sex addiction, and sees these locations as something that allows him to go to these places, and it's a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate.
And also when asked if there were